I've been struggling a long time finding a satisfying explanation on what black box LARP means. So I'll attempt to make an explanation that both satisfies first-time LARPers and those who make LARPs. In its basic, the word black box refers to the black box used in theatre. General modern theatre play out inside a big black room with no outside lights and no windows. All the sounds and lights in the room are completely fake or deliberate, giving it ideal capabilities for playing out dream sequences or dreamlike scenes. Because in dreams we often only see parts of the whole. Lights and sound are sometimes a bit off compared to the real world. It gives the LARP designer a great lot of freedom to really set the stage. In traditional LARP, a black box was located within the location, where you could go and play a scene from your character's past, or with outside characters not present at the location. Somehow tap into characters' memories, or maybe the future, to get inspiration for the rest of the LARP. At a black box LARP, the entire location is a black box, with lights and sound now freely available for use. You, as a designer, can really use your imagination on the possibilities or give agency to the players. Let them be in charge of the music or lights to alter mood or setting. In recent years, this has been a growing phenomenon with black box conventions, or creators making their own homemade black boxes to either run LARPs or testing out mechanics. Making your own black box is surprisingly simple. The main objective is to remove the noise from your surroundings. With noise, I mean it in the broad sense. Virtual noise, audible noise, whatever could distract your senses. The frame I speak from, you can see this right here, it has a lot of noise. Behind me is some books, there's a printer, there's some DVD covers, there's a door, a red lamp, a jacket. All these items gives the frame a sense of being in a real home, which in fact you are. This is where I live. But all this creates a lot of noise or distractions, taking your attention away from my voice and what I'm trying to say, which in film media is usually the wrong way to go about it. Everything within a frame should be thought about and put there deliberately. Now, I have put my Knudepunkt books and LARP books here deliberately because it gives me some sort of like sense of expertise that I have all these nice books, whether I've read them or not. And I have these videos here because it gives a sense of me being passionate about video as well. So also enforcing some kind of expertise in the sense of making this video. And then I have this red lamp up here, which I guess it's not here deliberately, but it's something that usually takes a lot of focus. Oh, it's up here, yeah. So this one takes a lot of focus because it has a very bright color. It's in the corner. It's like, why is there a red lamp here? And we'll never know. But it's something that piques our curiosity. But it also distracts, so it takes away from what I'm talking about. Because usually I'm not talking about the red lamp, which is up here. Yeah. This is red. Usually I don't talk about it, and usually what I'm talking about has nothing to do with the red lamp. But in a black box LARP, you could have a red lamp in the location that would somehow enforce the sense of whatever it is you want to achieve. Maybe the red light symbolizes warmth, or it's somehow, when it turns on, it speeds up the scene transitions. In black box LARPs, you want to strip away the noise and focus on something that is very important for the story. And each character might be carrying a single prop. So maybe I could be carrying a French press because maybe I'm an author. So I drink a lot of coffee, and I'm walking around with this coffee mug to symbolize that I drink coffee, and somehow I need that to keep on going with whatever I'm doing. Or I could have some pill holsters, like because I take a lot of medicine. Or I mean, Or I could go around with some toilet paper because I'm really pressured, whatever it could be. So the sense is that these props, if there's only one prop, you notice it. If there's a lot of props, you might not notice all of it. You might notice sort of the whole, the overview of the costume in something, and you can say, oh, this looks like a monk, or this looks like a big a glorious knight, or it looks like a politician because of all the stuff that they have. But in a black box LARP, you would rather have a black shirt, so there's nothing here to convey any distraction. So the only thing you should look at is that I'm going around with toilet paper. And then suddenly everybody noticed the toilet paper because of its emphasis in the LARP. You could have a policeman, and he would be carrying around a baton. I don't have a baton right here, but it would be a way to convey that that I was powerful, violent, something like that. So to build a black box, you actually just need a black room, or if not, a white room or empty room. The fewer distractions, the better, because you can emphasize the important stuff, or at least that's what you want to do, directing the focus. Designers has done this simply by painting one of their rooms black. Have a way to pack away all the content in it, and boom, there's a black box. Now, for it to be more like a theater, you also need some way to control the lights and sound. So you could be able to really steer the mood of the players. But one of the big challenges you then face when running a black box LARP is that it's often less obvious what to do as a player, especially if the players are from more conventional LARP traditions. Maybe if people have not tried LARP, it might actually be easier to learn how to interact in a black box. But what you need to do to make up for it is that you need workshops to direct what is important and how they should understand the signs that you give them in the black box. Because playing the hillbilly theme, like or something like that, some kind of funny theme, that's a really easy way to convey a specific kind of emotion. But if I change the color from blue to green, what does that mean? And how is it used in this LARP context? And that's something that you need to explain to the players through workshopping, where you explain your deliberate idea with it. It can also be more open to interpretation, but then at least the players should know that there's no specific point with this color. It's up for you to interpret how your character would react to it. Yeah, but it's important that you help along the understanding. But after the workshop, the possibilities are endless. After you have directed what is what, you can do anything within the black box. Basically, you can be on a spaceship. You can, and with the sound of photon torpedoes firing in the room, when the bridge calls the order to fire, you get the sense that you're actually in a Star Trek movie, because there is the sounds from the movie, so it really feels like you're there, and you're standing. Maybe everybody's standing up in the room in a specific way, as they would do in a Star Trek movie. It could also be the soundtrack of Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, the when you're playing a pirate LARP in a black box. And then you're just jumping around and you're swashbuckling either with your latex sword or saber, but it could also just be like a pen. And because suddenly, because of the music and because there's nothing else in the room taking you away from that emotion, it really feels convincing that you are actually in the movie, because you can suddenly, the memories you have suddenly teleport you into the movie, even though you're just in an empty room. It's a bit but so it also happens when you're dreaming, because you close your eyes, so there's nothing to see, there's no distractions, everything happens in your mind. Since you have less distractions in a black box, compared to playing maybe a a fantasy LARP in a castle, where you would be, I mean, in those kinds of LARPs, you would actually be thrown out of it if there was some kind of foreign element. And you have, as a creator, you have very little control to ensure that there's nowhere that something would take you out. Someone forgot to remove the refrigerator, or they forgot to turn it off, so it's still, so you can hear the sound of a refrigerator within the castle. And you're like, but this is Game of Thrones, why is there sound of a refrigerator? Now, in some LARPs where there happens a lot of stuff, and there is a lot of action going on, you would not notice it and you would carry on very easily. But if it's a more deep emotional LARP, something like refrigerator can really be disturbing. It's a lot of noise that takes you out. It could be suddenly there's a plane or a helicopter flying above. Suddenly it's very heavy, the sound, and it very takes you away from where you are. But in a black box, if there was a helicopter sound, it would be placed by the creators, because you have full control of what happens within the LARP, and also what doesn't happen in the LARP, which I guess is the most important part. And this, I think, is what makes a black box so interesting, that you get so much more control and power as a creator to really design the experience completely as you want it to be. This was actually like that first video that I've really played out and fully recorded. I could probably talk much more about black box, and maybe I will in a future video. I have once did a talk about black boxification, so that's maybe something that I would talk about, how to bring your LARP, your more traditional LARP, into black box, and how to do it actually. But until then, let me know what you thought about this video. Do you have any experiences with black box that you want to share? Please write it in the comments. That would be really lovely to hear about. And thank you for watching.